Each and every Thursday, sportsmemo.com goes back in time and you can get daily pick packages priced for only $5. And yes, for those wondering, that includes any 5% best bets normally priced at $30. This is the real Throwback Thursday. As an added bonus, all first-time customers will be credited $25 in wager bucks after those initial $5 purchases. So each and every Thursday, make sure you go to sportsmemo.com, get your favorite capper's best bet for only $5.
Hey guys, Carmine Bianco, WagerTalk.com, and welcome to our Thursday edition of Stoppage Time. We have 4 pretty damn good games today that we are going to cover, starting with one of them that goes today, which is Liverpool and Chelsea. Before that, we're going to kick it off with the Manchester Derby that goes this weekend, Manchester City, Manchester United. Big one from the Bundesliga, Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund, and I'm pretty sure Nick Borrman will have something to say about that. And then, of course, a team that's near and dear to my heart and keeps breaking my heart, Juventus playing Lazio, who have had their number over the last couple of years. So let's bring our crew with me from WagerTalk.com, Kevin Dolan and Nick Borrman. And from Sports Memo, it's Pavlos Laguretos. I'm going to go to Kev first. Kev, how you doing, my friend?
Yeah, all good, Carmine. Not a great night for us last night in soccer, but on top plays, 4 or 5% plays, won a nice little run, 67% over the last month. So might just stick with the top plays. And I had to laugh, actually, when I was reading the comments of Tuesday's show that I missed. Irish John was saying it was because of my 5% winner on the Brooklyn Nets. I was celebrating too hard, the reason that I was off. I wish it was that. It was a lot more mundane. It was an embassy visit, but, glad to be back for Thursday's show.
Well, we're glad you got out of the embassy in one piece and facial recognition didn't identify you. Nick Borrman, my friend, how you doing? What golf tournament's coming up, man? Because you used to send me those golf winners, and you're still winning, but I'm just not getting any of the messages with the winners.
Arnold Palmer Invitational just kicked off a couple hours ago, so I've been watching that this morning, and weather's breaking where I'm at, so I'm actually got out this week and played, so it's things are good. Soccer did well on what's today? Thursday. On Tuesday, 3-0 on Tuesday with Man City, but then fell flat yesterday. Took a couple of big plus money plays and draws. I thought Barcelona and Sevilla. I thought both teams would score there. So a couple that I fell flat on yesterday. But hopefully we turn that around. Get ready for some winners. Big weekend ahead, like you said. I can't wait to cover these games today.
Yeah, and no doubt you will, my friend. And you seem to do really well with these big games. So. This lineup is set up perfectly for you, Nick. Pavlos from Sports Memo, tell me what is going on, how you've been doing, and why don't you do like Buster does to me when he's on Puck Time, where he talks about the weather. Why don't you tell me what the weather's like in Greece?
It's both hot and cold. It's one of those weird, spring days where the sun is shining, there's no cloud in sight, but the weather is freezing. So you don't know, wear a jacket, wear a t-shirt, you don't know. So anyway, I'm coming off a great day. Actually, I had the 2-0, correct score in the Barcelona game. So that gave us a nice payout. I did lose a couple of 1% in some other correct scores, but I do have some correct scores for today's matches, and I don't want to give them out. So yeah, it's been great. The past week since last Thursday's show has been great with plus 18 ROI. So yeah, I'm looking to keep it up during this weekend.
All right, that's what I like to hear. Let me just clarify something for you, Pavlos. In the rest of the world, I'm not sure about Greece. In the rest of the world, both hot and cold is warm. It's what you're looking for. It's warm. Okay. So, anyways, with that said, I'm on a pretty good. It's a roller coaster of a year so far. I had a fantastic January, a not so great February, to put it mildly, and March has been fantastic so far. 9-2-1, up like 38%, which bankroll gain, which is number 1 at WagerTalk. But the month is early, so we'll see how it goes, and hopefully it continues. With that said, guys, let's get right into the action. The very first game, it's not being played today. This one's on the weekend. Manchester City, Manchester United, the Manchester Derby. We'll see whether the city is blue or red. You guys are going to help decide that. Man City minus 188. The draw is plus 333. Man United plus 500, and the draw is 2.75, which is a split line of 2.5 and 3. I'm going to go to Kev first on this one, but listen, 21 straight wins for Manchester City, playing absolutely phenomenal. With a win against Man United, they will tie the 2014 Real Madrid team for 22 straight wins. And then the game next up after that, if they can win this one, will be against, I believe it is Southampton, where they'll try and equal Bayern Munich's 23 games in a row win streak that was last year. And then the game after that, they'll be at Fulham, where I'm sure Fulham will be looking to knock them off the pedestal. Man United, we've seen what happens to them. They played yesterday. It wasn't the greatest of performances. They went to Crystal Palace. Nick talked about this on Tuesday's stoppage time. He talked about the fact that, and I had said they play down to their opponents, and they really played down to their opponents. But Nick said, look at taking Crystal Palace first half in this game, and that was a winner if you took them, because United were favored, and you could get for minus 125, I believe, the double result of win draw on Crystal Palace for that game. So good call by Nick. Kev, I'm going to go to you first on this one. I have one thought, and once you're done, I'll put that thought out there. So I want to hear what you have to say about this one.
Yeah, well, fading City, as you said, with that win streak, it hasn't exactly been productive. I haven't stepped in front. I've been high on City myself. I haven't stepped in front of them too often this season. And I think both Nick and I have said how dominant they've been since November, not just in terms of results, but XG data. But I did go against them on Tuesday night. Now, I had a 1% free play on Wolves, mainly due to that recent results between the pair. I shopped around. I got 19-1. Sent it out then as a 1% free play over at WagerTalk. 17-1 seemed to be the consensus line over in the US at that time. And, just before kickoff, that line dipped around 14-1. So it looked like some absolutely great value there. And, during the game, I was watching, especially when Connor Cody scored that equaliser midway through the second half, there was that brief second where you're thinking, wow, maybe Wolves really do have their number. But look, City showed exactly why they're the most dominant team in Europe right now. 3 goals and, about 10 minutes, put the game to bed. And, just this City team, they're just operating on a different level right now. In fairness, United are on a decent run of form themselves, despite the draws. They're unbeaten in 7. And are actually the only team in the Premier League this season yet to lose a game on the road. But this is a completely different task facing them on Sunday. The most worrying aspect from a United standpoint is their lack of goals recently. 2 straight games now without a goal. They managed to put just 1 past West Brom a couple of weeks ago as well. And they face a City team here that has by far and away the best defence in the league this season. I don't think United score here. I like Manchester City to win to 0, plus 175. That's a great price. I also like Manchester City to keep a clean sheet, plus 125. Obviously, both tie on together. Both teams to score no around even money as well. And Manchester United score exactly 0 goals, plus 125. All of those bets appeal to me in this. However you want to play this, I think you have to look at United getting shut out here, despite their attacking threat. But as the main play, I'll take City to win to 0, plus 175 is my best bet for this one.
I like that. I like that play, and I'm going to mark that one down because I do like it. And to your point, 9 straight wins at home, 7 of those clean sheets, and they've outscored opposition by a 22-2 goal differential over those 9 games. So completely dominating at home. Pavlos, I'm going to go to you next on this one. Here's one take, which I think we see a lot of the times, which bothers me. But I understand sometimes from a manager's point of view, you need to shuffle your lineup. You need to, in these congested schedules, you need to keep some players, some players rested. You give some players some time off. But you look at these 2 managers, and Pep, he's got his team motoring along, winning games. He's making few, if any, changes at all to his lineup, and they continue to win. And then you see Ole Solskjaer, who his lineup just seems to change from game to game. And maybe it's a thing of he can't manage the egos that are on that team, or maybe it's something else. But, if they were in Champions League, it's one thing. They're in Europa League. I think finishing top 4 in the EPL should be the most important thing, and getting wins and doing it, because this is going to be a tight race for the top 4 here, other than top spot for a Champions League spot. So give me your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, well, this is a derby. This is a city derby, and no matter what the teams are actually doing prior to those derbies, doesn't seem to matter all that much when they meet. In the last 10 matches between the two, City have 5 wins, United have 4 wins, and the other one was a draw. So when you look at how United have done in this venue over the years, you'll see that they have 4 wins, just 1 loss, and 1 draw in the last 6 trips here. So that has got to count for something, right? I mean, it has you looking at the other way in backing United here with plus a goal at plus 106. Another thing that comes to mind is the fact that in the last 10 matches between the two sides, in the last 11 matches between the two sides, the hosting team, whoever it was, only won 2 of those. So you have a matchup that doesn't actually favor whoever is hosting. It's most likely, the visitors that are getting the draws or getting the wins, whoever that is. So that being said, I would look towards Manchester United with plus 1 goal here. But I think that my best bet, and the one that I believe the most here, is and don't call me crazy on that, the under 2.5 goals. The under 2.5 goals goes at plus 116. The under 2 3/4 goals goes at minus 102. And you all know that Pep has a really cohesive defensive side. He has really shaped up the defense this season. Manchester United, they can't easily score goals lately. They're coming off 3 consecutive goalless draws. So it wouldn't take much to see like a low-scoring match here. So yeah, I like the under 2.5 or the under 2 3/4, and not so much United with plus 1.
All right. I will say this before I throw it to Nick for the final word on this game. Pep Guardiola, the best defense is an offense. And when you don't give up the ball, you don't give up goals. Nick?
I was about to argue with Pavlos on taking United plus 1, but then he kind of came around to just an under as his play for the game, which I'm good with. You mentioned the derby, Pavlos, which normally I would 100% agree with, but a derby without fans in the stands is just another game, isn't it? I mean, it just changes kind of everything about that feel. But you're right. United has had City's number for whatever reason over the recent years, but I don't know. I don't have your cojones to get in front of City right now, the way these guys are playing. And the one bet I like here, -1, seems like the right price. I mean, most likely, City are going to win this game, and maybe it's just a 1-goal win that pushes. So instead, I'm kind of looking at the first half. I mentioned this again in the Crystal Palace game, but United now, after that match, have led in just 6 of 27 league matches this season. They just don't get off to good starts, and City does. They've led at halftime in 17 of their 27 league matches this year, and they seem to score a lot in that last 5 minutes too. So even if you're getting to that end, don't sweat it, because they'll probably net one right before the break. But getting them plus money, I looked last night, it was plus 115 to get City to win first half. So I think that's a great way to play it. Get City on plus money, some way to win part of this game. I think they can get out to a quick start, and I like the plus price on them. So City to win first half, then we don't have to worry about the rest of the game.
All right. Awesome. We are going to move to a game, big game number 2. This one goes today. I'm going to make this quick, and then I'm going to throw it right back to Nick again. One thing I never thought I'd be saying on this show is Liverpool playing today, and they've lost 4 straight games at Anfield. Everton, Man City, Brighton, and Burnley, and not scoring in 3 of those 4 games. The only goal they've scored in those 4 games was against Man City, losing 4-1. Chelsea don't win here often, though. The last time they won, I think it was in 2014. That was when John Terry was captaining this side, and Diego yellow card, red card Costa was manning the front of that scoring line with Didier Drogba coming in off the bench at times during that season. So, Nick, I'm going to go to you first on this one. Give me your thoughts on this game. Liverpool -115, the draws +260. Chelsea +225, and the total I don't have here, but I think it's 2.5.
I messaged you guys last night and said, are we taking Liverpool today or what? Because I mean, so many times Liverpool's form isn't great, but they step up into a big match and you're like, oh, well, this is the game they're not going to play well because they haven't been playing well, and they do what Liverpool does and they win the game. But everything about their form just kind of keeps me off it. I mean, the craziest thing for me is the fact that they're winless in 6 games at Anfield. I mean, when was the last time we've said something like that? Anfield is supposed to be that formidable fortress that nobody can crack. No wins in 6 games, 2 goals in 6 games. That's unbelievable. They have lost to Everton, Brighton, and Burnley. I mean, I don't even know how to put that in. Those words don't even belong in a sentence together. But it's what's going on right now, and they're just not scoring goals. We know they're injured. We know they have a lot of issues on that side, and they can't keep the same 11 in there. But that's part of football. Chelsea, the Tuchel era has off to a great start so far, unbeaten in his reign. I think it's 9 games now. They've only given up 2 goals during that run. They've kept 7 clean sheets. Now, granted, they've had some weaker opponents, but they did beat Atletico Madrid 1-0 in the Champions League. They did beat Tottenham at Tottenham in that matchup, and they kept United scoreless as well. Of course, that game just ended 0-0. But those are 3 pretty good teams that they kept to clean sheets as well. Long story short, I think with the form that Liverpool's in, they're not scoring goals. They're struggling at home. Chelsea's defense is very, very good. At the same time, I don't see Liverpool giving up a lot here. I think this could play out to a very low-scoring, very tight affair. What's neat about the Premier League this year is the title's over, right? We all know that. City's got this thing wrapped up. But the top 4 battle is going to be fun. I mean, there's 6 teams legitimately with a good chance, maybe 7 with a great chance to get into those other 3 spots for Champions League next year. So these matchups are going to be huge, and I think it's going to be tight, and I think neither team's going to want to bend. And I like the under. I actually have this on my card today, so I'll give this out to everybody as my free play. But I'll have under 2.5 goals in this matchup.
All right, awesome. I am going to go for the first rebuttal on Nick, of course, to his very good friend, Kevin Dolan. Kev, give me your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint you again. No rebuttal here. I like the under as well. It's pretty alarming. I don't think anyone, certainly not me anyway, expected Liverpool to be fighting so hard, just to remain in the top 4. It's kind of like a surreal world right here. And, as Nick says, look, since Thomas Tuchel took charge at Chelsea, the results between these two over that period have been pretty shocking. So since Tuchel took charge at Chelsea, their games have gone like this. Over their last 7 games played respectively, Liverpool have lost 4 over that span. Chelsea have lost none. Liverpool have conceded 12 goals over that 7-game stretch. Chelsea have conceded just 2. So it shows you how far Liverpool are continuing to struggle. While Chelsea under Tuchel, really resilient animal right now, and they've won every single possession battle across those 7 games as well since he took charge. And I reckon that'll be the recipe for success here again for Tuchel. Keep possession, look to grind out a result here. And I think both teams and managers would see a draw here as a fairly positive result. While a loss for either obviously would be a lot worse. Because of that, like Nick, I don't see a lot of goals here. I don't see either team taking many risks in this one, so that's why the under 2.5 is appealing, especially at plus money. However, I'm going to go a little more risky here. I'm going to take the 1-1 correct score. This is on my card, 1% play tonight. Plus, shop around, you can get plus 650, but I gave it out at plus 600 because that's the most consensus line. I agree with the bookmakers. They've got this penciled in as the most probable score line here tonight. That's exactly the way I think. And draw for me in this one, more specifically 1-1 plus 600.
Love it.
All right, final word goes to Pavlos on this one. Pavlos, give us your thoughts on this game.
I'm also in the 1-1 correct score. And one of the other reasons, these guys made some excellent points. One of the extra reasons I'm going for the 1-1 exact score is the fact that in the last 7 matches between the 2 sides in this venue, in the last 8 matches actually, with Liverpool as hosts, and I'm including the European Super Cup, 5 of those 8 matches were 1-1 draws. 5 of the last 8 matches with Liverpool as hosts were 1-1 draws. I'm taking the 1-1 draw, possibly the under in this match. So yeah, this guy's made some excellent points. I have nothing else to add.
I have nothing else to add, is what Pablo said. This sounds like an argument I have with It sounds like an argument
have like
I have
20
with my
lines.
wife at least once a week, where she ends it with, "I have nothing else to add." Anyways, all right. With that said, let's head over to game number 3, big game of the weekend. This one's in Germany, Bundesliga. Bayern Munich at home playing Dortmund. Munich minus 175. The draw is plus 300. Dortmund plus 425. And the total here, a very high 3.75, which is a split line of 3.5 and 4. I'm going to say this first because you guys know, if you've been watching the show and the boys on this one, I said that there were signs after that Hoffenheim draw by Dortmund that they were about ready to start playing some of their best football. And I took them against Sevilla in League One. They won that game. I took them as a 5% play against Schalke. They won that game 4-0. They've won 4 games since that 2-2 draw. They're playing extremely well. Now, does that mean that they're going to go to Bayern and win? No, I don't think it's going to. You better check some of the sites for injury updates on Dortmund, because they have a few of them. Bayern, they've dropped points in 2 of their last 3, and they've pulled Red Bull Leipzig back into that title race, only 2 points back. I am going to go to, who am I going to first on this one? I'm going to go to Nick first on this one because you're a huge Dortmund fan. So give me your thoughts on this game.
I'm a big Dortmund fan. I bleed yellow, but I bet on Bayern a lot because they make me a lot of green. So it's a strange game in that fact. But listen, this meeting, if you look at the history of it, and it's what you'd expect. You expect a lot of goals in these teams to get together. This is the 3rd meeting already this year. Bayern won both meetings this year 3-2, one in the reverse fixture and then one in the Super Cup back in September. And, it's hard not to look at expecting goals again here. We know the attacks of both teams. We know the Bundesliga is just a league that sees more goals in general. It's a little bit faster tempo. It's a little bit more risk-taking. It's not sit back and score a goal and try to win it out. And I think the team that's going to win this is probably going to need to put 3 in the net. And then we're talking about, only needing 1 more to cover this line. Now, the current line is 3.25. So at 4 goals, it's just a half a winner. So I'm looking at, again, at another first half line here. And you can get first half over 1.5. And at least if you get 2 goals, because if this game's going to go over, it's going to have to get off to a quick start. So I like the over 1.5 in the first half. That's come through in 9 of the last 13 head-to-head meetings between these guys. 10 of the last 13 have gone over the total, but a few of those have landed on 4. So again, that's only a half winner. So I think there's a little bit more value on the first half side. Carm, you mentioned, Bayern dropping a few points recently. I'm not too concerned with it. I mean, we've talked about this before. They were coming off the Club World Cup, and they were traveling quite a bit. They played Armenia at home, and the first half was snow-ridden, and they struggled in that first half. And then they did their thing in the second half, came back for a draw. And Frankfurt just outplayed them that one game a couple weeks ago. But then since they've turned it on, beat up Lazio really easily in the Champions League, and then of course just demolished Cologne, which is not really saying much. But again, they scored 9 goals in the last 2 games. So I'm confident that they're confident, and I think both teams are going to be seeing a couple goals in this one. But get off to a fast start here. Take over 1.5 in the first half. You could also go full game, but I think value is better on the first half.
Yeah, no, makes sense. Kev, here's the thing is that we would normally see these 2 teams battling for the title race, and it eventually goes to Bayern. But, Dortmund are 13 back, so it's not about a title race for them. It's about a top 4 spot and qualifying again for Champions League next year. The one thing that has me off of this game is, number one, I don't know the status of some of the players from Dortmund as of yet in that quarterfinals of the DFB Polka. Sancho did come off, I think, at the 68-minute mark or 65-minute mark or what have you. We don't know what his status is, and a couple of the other players. But then the other thing is that on Tuesday, Dortmund hosts Sevilla in Leg 2 of Champions League. And I have to believe that is their focus, holding on to that 3-2 Leg 1 victory there and making sure that they take care of business on Tuesday. So I'm not sure you want to risk anybody who is not 100% match fit. Like, what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Champions League would obviously be their main focus. The goal line is high, but there's obvious reasons for it. Both teams have been so inconsistent at the back lately. Dortmund, despite registering back-to-back clean sheets, both of those came against two of the worst teams in the league, Arminia Bielefeld and Schalke, respectively. And if you actually take those two games out of the equation, Dortmund have actually conceded 2.67 goals on average per game since January 15th. So it's been a really poor defence. Bayern too, as we know, have had their own issues defensively. Just one clean sheet over the last 5 games in the Bundesliga again, coming against the bottom-ranked team in Hertha Berlin. And at home this season, it's been even worse, not registering a single clean sheet in the Bundesliga since all the way back in October. I think we see a similar result to what we witnessed here back in the first game. 3-2 road win for Bayern back in November. Dortmund have scored in 31 straight games across all competitions as well. We know how good Haaland is, obviously, while Bayern 67 goals, which is crazy. In just 23 games this season is a new club record. I think the best bet here is Bayern to win and over 2.5 goals. That's minus 110. I think that's a great price. That looks very appealing. And for the more adventurous out there, a repeat of that 3-2 win for Bayern is plus 1,400 as well. I like both of those, but for the main pick and probably a play I will be on, I'll stick with that Bayern and over 2.5 here at minus 110.
All right, final word, Pavlos.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. This is a matchup that traditionally produces a lot of goals. There were over 3.5 goals in each of their last 3 matches in this venue, where, of course, Bayern destroyed Dortmund by 4-0, 5-0, and 6-0. So this is not a very good trip for Dortmund, especially with the upcoming Champions League second leg, as you said, Carmine. But even if it wasn't for that, they're still struggling in this venue traditionally. Bayern Munich, they've bounced back after those 2 bad, the loss and the draw after the club's World Cup. They destroyed Köln and Lazio. So I think that their machine is very well oiled. I don't think they'll stumble tonight. Kevin made a great point with the Bayern to win and over 2.5 goals. But also the over 3.75 goals is also something to look at here, because there were at least 5 goals in 5 of the last 8 matches between the two. So this is a matchup that traditionally produces a lot of goals. But I think that Bayern Munich will score more than Dortmund in this match.
All right, like it. Okay, boys, we are going to hit our very last game. Not last, but not least. Juventus and Lazio. Juventus minus 125. The draw is plus 280. Lazio plus 310. And the total is 2.75, which is a split line of 2.5 and 3. I'm going to keep this one short and simple, and then I go to Kevin. While 7 points back of Inter doesn't seem like much, it's going to be extremely hard for this Juventus team to get back or closer or back into that title race. Inter is just playing extremely well right now, and in looking at their schedule, they literally have only 4 games which you could consider tough games where they could drop points, and that's at home, at home to Atalanta, at Napoli, home to Roma, and then they play at Juventus the second last weekend of the season. So they would need to drop 7 points within those games. I just don't see it happening, to be honest with you. Lazio had Juve's number of late, but since the turn of the year, 2021, Juventus have gone 9-0-1 at home, unbeaten in 10 games. Kev, I'm going to go to you first on this one.
Yeah, I mean, as you started off, they're a huge game for both clubs. Juventus really kind of need to win out, as you said. 7 points is a lot. Lazio are trying themselves to get in them European placements. Napoli currently a point ahead of them as well. So, both teams kind of essentially need to win here. And as you also said, Lazio seem to be a bit of a bogey team right now for Juventus. Juve have won just one of the last 4 between these pair across all venues. And, more alarmingly, have opened the scoring in 3 of those 4 also, only to be pegged back in the second half each time. So, live betting in this one might also be an option. But as you said, Juventus have looked very strong of late at home. They've lost just once in Turin all season in Serie A. They've won 6 straight here, including 4 straight clean sheets as well. So it's going to be hard for Lazio to get a result here. Juve do have some injury concerns ahead of this game. De Ligt out, Bonucci out, Cuadrado out, Dybala out. Chiellini is questionable as well, but I still like them to get the win here on Saturday with the quality that they do have. Juventus to win outright, minus 120, appeals to me there. Cristiano Ronaldo, first goal scorer, looks tempting too, at plus 260. In 3 of those 4 matches we just mentioned, it was Ronaldo who opened the scoring in all 3 of those. And with him being on penalty duty as well, that looks like a decent price to get him on the score sheet first in this one. So, Juve straight up minus 120 or Ronaldo first goal scorer plus 260, both appeal for me in this one.
I like it. And you are right. At the end of the day, I think teams like right now, Lazio, Juventus, they probably should be more. I know Juve still have the title hopes. I'm going to go to Pavlos next on this one, but this is more about, I think, at the end of the day, looking at finishing top 4 and just making it into next year's Champions League. And you look at the teams right now: AC Milan at 53, Juve at 49, with Atalanta at 49, and then you have Roma at 47 and Napoli and Lazio at 44 and 43. They're all there. You can't afford to drop points. So we'll see how this goes. Pavlos, thoughts on this game?
Yeah, Lazio are one of those teams that I've tried to follow this season. When I followed them, they somehow lost or drew against the inferior teams. When I don't back them up, they win easily. They've been really elusive, especially for me. Anyway, they've been terrible on the road lately with just 2 wins in the last 8 matches. So that's a bad record to bring into this very high-profile match. Juventus, as you guys said, they haven't conceded any goals in their last 7 home matches in all competitions, which is pretty impressive. Lazio, however, in their last 8 matches on the road, both teams scored in 6 of those 8 matches. So if you want to go with both teams to score here, the price is not great. It's minus 150. But there were goals from both sides in 4 of the last 5 matches between the 2 sides in this venue. As Kevin said, Lazio usually find a way to score the first goal against Juventus, but they somehow they end up not winning. So I think I'll stay away from this match. If anything, I would take the both teams to score at minus 150, which is also not a great option if you look at how Juventus have done at home lately. So it's either both teams to score or nothing else for me.
All right, Nick, I am giving you the final word on this one, and then I want to do a quick roundtable of what you guys got going up at WagerTalk and Sports Memo. So give me your thoughts on this game.
To me, this looks like a good spot for Juve. Lazio, they've really looked lost in their last 2 games. The first was understandable, a 1-4 loss to Bayern in the Champions League. I guess we all expected that. But then 0-2 to Bologna this past weekend, which, unacceptable. However, they did at least generate chances in that game. They had 2.5 expected goals. They just couldn't put them in. So they are still generating the chances, just not getting the results. They also did lose at Inter in the middle of February, so it's 3 losses now in their last 4 games. Juve has had their issues this year, no doubt, and they certainly look like you mentioned, Carm, that the Champions League, the Serie A run is likely done this year. They also are trailing, in the Champions League as they lost 1-2 at Porto just a couple of weeks ago. That being said, you guys already mentioned it. They've been awesome at home. They have just 1 loss in their last 16 matches, which came against Fiorentina when they were handed a red card in the 18th minute game. Cuadrado got one. They've kept 7 straight clean sheets at home, which includes wins against Napoli and Roma, and they played to a scoreless draw against Inter in the Coppa Italia. That being said, Lazio has given Juve trouble in recent meetings. Kevin hit on this, and with 4 wins apiece and 1 draw in their last 9 meetings. Both teams have scored in 7 of those 9 meetings. Pablo's hit on that. I'm kind of taking a bit of what everybody said here, and I'm kind of combining it into what I think is a great price is Juve probably wins. Lazio probably sneaks one in. So instead of going to the scoreline 2-1, which seems like a likely result, Juve to win plus both teams to score is plus 280 right now. And I think that's a very, very good value on this matchup. I do see Lazio breaking that scoreless streak for Juve here. But Juve, I think, is in better form. I think they'll come through the game at home, and I love that price.
All right, guys, a quick roundtable. I have a soccer 2-pack up today at WagerTalk. Kicks off at 1 o'clock, so you can grab those. Head over to WagerTalk.com on my capper page. And I have a 5% play up for this weekend in soccer. I had one up yesterday with Barcelona -1 in the Copa del Rey. They overturned that 2-0 League One deficit and won 3-0 in extra time to to advance to the finals of the Copa del Rey. That's what I have up. Nick, tell me what you've got up.
Right now, I have a 4-pack up for today's action. A couple games in the Premier League, the Copa del Rey match, and I have, well, the golf pack just went down as I have that just got underway, and I do have an NHL pack up for tonight, and I've had a great NHL season actually so far, profitable on the year, and hitting 57%, so hoping to continue that into tonight's action.
All right, Kevin Dolan, what do you have?
Yeah, we have an EPL kicks off at 1 p.m. for today. We also have a free play up on the Tottenham Fulham game as well, and we also have a 4% NHL play up as well. Number 1 on the season. Very happy with that. So, 3 plays up.
Awesome. And finally, from Sports Memo, Pavlos Laguretos, tell us what you have so we can get everyone on their way.
Yeah, I have a soccer 3-pack for today. I don't think I'll have an NBA package for tonight. I'm just gonna go out and have some, craft beers today after a long while. But soccer, the weekend is packed with soccer. I have a 5% that will be loaded later today for Saturday, and also a lot of exciting matchups that I will be on this weekend.
All right. Enjoy those beers. Hopefully they are cold and not hot. Pavlos, thanks to everyone who tuned in. We will be back on Tuesday with Champions League and Europa League games. Really appreciate you guys watching. Hit that like button. And as always, guys, good luck with your wagers.